Okay, this is the Ritz-Carlton lemon loaf right out of the pan. It is nice and, oh, this is out of focus, and spongy, and it tastes amazing. So it is definitely a moist bread with that sugar on the top. It's so good. Anyway, that turned out amazing. I think you're gonna absolutely love this recipe. So I'm gonna get it posted for you, and I hope you have a good day. Hi, it's Sarah, and welcome to my Northern Minnesota kitchen. Today I am trying a vintage recipe. So this is not my recipe, but it's a recipe that I found on Facebook, and I thought I would try to recreate it with my own little twist and see how it turns out. So this recipe is the Ritz-Carlton 1920s famous lemon pound cake. Highly popular from the 1920s. It is very, very simple. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 ingredients. So super, super simple. Probably like a lot of recipes from the 1920s. Wholesome, probably not the healthiest because it does have a lot of whole milk and butter, flour and sugar. But I think this one is going to be amazing. So we're going to go ahead and get started. So this recipe makes 2 loaves, but I'm cutting it down to 1 loaf, and I'm going to post 1 loaf. So I shouldn't even have said that because I'm just making a 1 loaf recipe. Okay, we're going to start with butter. 3/4 cup of butter, melted. And I'm using my Pyrex Vintage Year of Color bowl. I got that last summer at Target and absolutely love this bowl. It's got that nice vintagey look. All right, 2 eggs. I'm gonna add 2 eggs. I'm gonna put all the wet ingredients in first. Oops. Not supposed to happen. All right, just lightly mix that together. Just for a couple minutes. All right, and we're gonna add a 1/2 cup of whole milk. Just lightly mix that. Okay, 1 1/2 cups of white flour. I love these old vintage recipes. And this one was served in the Grand Hotel, which just gives it such a fun flair. Okay, baking powder. I don't know what I did. Oh, there it is. 1/2 tablespoon. So it does take quite a bit of baking powder. Okay, 1/2 tablespoon of baking powder. 2 eggs. And a 1.5 cups of white sugar. Super easy recipe to put together. All right, now the lemon juice part. 3 tablespoons of lemon juice. You can use fresh squeeze, but we don't really have that up here in the middle of northern Minnesota, unless you want to buy lemons that just don't look the greatest this time of the year. So I'm using lemon juice, which in baking comes about to be about the same. All right, we're gonna mix this up. Oh, I can smell the lemon. It's definitely heavenly lemony. Heavily lemony. Okay. I just love those old Grand Hotels. I went to New York about 8 years ago, and it is one of my dreams. I'm not a big city person at all. I live in the middle of nowhere in northern Minnesota, and I am definitely not a big city person, but I fell in love with the Eloise Plaza Hotel. I don't know if any of you have ever stayed there or been there. It's also kind of in the Home Alone movie, but I priced it, and there's no way I'm ever going to afford to stay there, ever, unless I get sponsored, but it's probably never going to happen. Anyway, that's a dream of mine, to stay in that fancy hotel. And whenever I think of fancy hotels, we went to Yellowstone my kids were little, and we stayed at the one, I can't remember the name of the lodge in Yellowstone. Somebody will tell me in the comments. The Old Grand Lodge in Yellowstone. And I just feel it's so at home in those places. I just absolutely love them. The Mammoth Springs, that was another one that we stayed at too. That was really fun. I would like to try to get to Glacier and stay in the mini something hotel. Mini Glacier Hotel. I would like to eventually stay there too. Okay, so put this in your loaf pan. And I am going to sprinkle the whole coarse sugar on top to give it a little bit of, because this is not an iced topping, which is fine because sometimes you just don't need all that sweetness. You just need a nice light lemon pound cake. I'm just gonna make sure I get it all here. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna go grab the coarse sugar. And I'm just gonna lightly sprinkle. This is the sugar in the raw. I'm just gonna lightly sprinkle it just to kind of give it a little bit of kick. Like that. Okay, so next, baking it. So I have the oven preheated to 350 degrees. I just actually made chocolate chip muffins, so my oven is already ready to go and at 350 degrees. So this is what the lemon loaf looks like. I'm going to put this in the oven for 55 minutes. This is a recipe that I haven't made before, so I'm going to check it at 45 minutes just to make sure that I don't need to turn it down or, reduce the cooking time a little bit. So I'm going to put it in the oven. I'll be right back. And I've got my squeaky door. Okay. And then when it comes out, I'm going to show it to you. I am not going to glaze this one just because, like I said, I feel like sometimes it's nice to just have a nice light lemon loaf without all the extra sugar and frosting on it. Especially it's nice and springy and, real easy. So again, this one has about 8 ingredients, 350 degrees, 55 minutes. I'm going to check it at 45 and I'll show you what it looks like as soon as it comes out. And I hope you like these vintage recipes because I have a treasure trove from grandmas and grandpas and all kinds of people in my pantry.